everybody, welcome to Make It with Mod Podge. I'm Steve Piacenza.
This is the live version of our show. I'm Cathie, Filian, and thank you so much for joining us today. If this is your first time tuning in to see Make It with Mod Podge, we really appreciate it. And if you're joining us again and you've seen it before, we double appreciate it.
Yes.
If you don't have time to make it through this whole show, don't worry about it. We've got so much we're covering, but this video will be archived at Plaid's Facebook page, and of course we'll be sharing it to our Facebook page as well, and the projects will be online and on Instagram and all those fun places that you follow Plaid. So don't worry, you won't miss a thing.
No, and it's a pretty fun show because it's one of our favorite holidays, Halloween and the fall, of course.
Yes.
We love it, and we have 15 really cool transformations using pumpkins. We're doing everything from yarn to fabrics to lace to papers to glitters.
Washi
Here they
tape.
are. Washi tape. So we got a ton of stuff to show you. We're going to show them that later on in the show.
So we've got a bunch of different Mod Podge formulas that we're going to be working with, and I want to share with you some of those formulas. One of the new formulas that's so cool we're going to be using is the Mod Podge Mega Glitter, and we're using it in gold.
So great.
And it creates a really, really high sparkle. One of the cool things about this formula, and we'll dive into that a little bit later on, is it does have different sizes of glitter, so you get a really cool look with that. I'll show you what that looks like. And we're going to be diving into all of this, so you're not going to miss anything. You can see how it creates, almost, what were we saying? It's like a galaxy sky.
Galaxy, I think it looks like, what's it called?
Gold leafing.
Gold leafing with how it drags off to the sides like that.
So
beautiful.
Pretty. So pretty.
And let's not forget about sparkle. An oldie but a goodie there.
Love.
And I always said I think Cathie dipped her fingernails in it because your fingernail polish looks exactly like it.
I didn't, but I did do some glitter polish
There
for
you
today.
go. So yes, we got some sparkle, and we're also going to be using fabric Mod Podge.
Now, what's the big joke?
The big joke is it's Cathie's favorite, but she says that about all of them.
No, fabric formula to me is so cool because I love like gloss and matte and satin for all your paper crafts and all that.
Yeah.
But I was textile science major. I came from the fashion industry.
Makes
so
sense.
I'm all about fabric.
It makes sense.
What's so cool about this is you can take any fabrics, even like this minky fabric, and you can see that we've covered a pumpkin with that just using the fabric formula. So to me, it just has so many opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely. And we also have Raphael, so big shout out to Raphael.
Raphael.
Say hi, Raphael.
So if you guys have any questions, please ask away. If Raphael can see them, he will shout them out to us occasionally. If not, after this video, Steve and I will both sit down with lunch probably,
sure.
and we'll go through on the computer and answer any questions that you have. And I know that the good peeps at Plaid will be circling back to answer any of your questions too.
Okay, should we get started?
Yeah,
Let's do it. I think the first thing we're going to start with is napkins. Now, napkins are so popular, so many cool napkins out there right now. And we have made these little pumpkins here, little white pumpkins, and we're going to show you a really cool technique because it looks like right now we've cut out each one of these little leaves and Mod Podged them down to the pumpkin, but that is not what we did. Very simple.
And this is a kind of a cool technique. I think if you're working with kids, so many people ask for kids crafts.
Yes, absolutely.
So many teachers even ask me, what can I do with my students? This is so perfect for them. Even any age group can do this craft.
Any age group, and we are going to be using the gloss Mod Podge for this project. Now, napkins, when you open them up, usually come with a 2 or 3 ply. This one is a 2 ply, so what you want to do is find...
Well, you got lucky.
Oh, look,
there.
no, it is a 3 ply. So it is a 3 ply, and you're just going to separate it like that. Now, this is the part you're going to use, of course. This, you're going to toss away. Then what you're going to do is you're going to refold your napkin, like so.
And this is for the all-over technique.
This is for the all-over technique,
Because you're
exactly.
covering really the whole pumpkin.
Right, so you just want to go right back on top, and then you're going to find your corner where your center would be, and that's right there. I'm going to take my pair of scissors, and I'm just going to snip that off. That's simple. So it is basically a napkin with a hole in it. That's it. Set that aside. We're going to take our pumpkin, our white pumpkin.
And if these weren't white, if they were orange, you could just top coat it with a little bit of the Folk Art Home Decor chalk.
Yeah, any pumpkin works. Just paint them white, because the white, what it does is it's going to make your leaves stand out. If they were another color, it might kind of mute them.
Yeah, because you can see how the light colors on the napkins, the pumpkin color underneath really shows through once it's dry. So if you had an orange pumpkin, you wouldn't get those details.
So cover your whole entire pumpkin. Very important. Just cover that up. You don't need a whole lot of Mod Podge. You don't need to soak it. You just want a nice thin layer, like so. And then I got a piece of wax paper there. Put the pumpkin down, and here we go. Here's the magic part. We're going to cover it with the napkin, like so. Just drop that right on down. Separate it. And then you're going to take your brush, and you're just going to gently... Here, take a look at this, because this is the cool part. You're just going to go right on top of that. You can add a little bit more Mod Podge on top of your brush there, and just gently push down, and it just takes shape so beautifully.
And if you were doing this with kids, they could use your fingers too, because this is non-toxic. It's not going to, you know, hurt them.
And the kids, you know, there's so many cool kids napkins out there. Of course, they probably wouldn't want to do fall leaves, but there is superheroes, and there's all those cartoon napkins now. It's
that
great.
Would be cute. That would be really cute.
And you're just going to go all the way down. You can see how quick and easy this is. Take a little more Mod Podge and go down. Okay, so then when I get to about this part here, I like to take it. I like to just do a little twist, like so. And that bulk, I just like to cut off. Then I take more Mod Podge and go right on top of that. And I barely touch the napkins even with my fingers. It's all about your brush and the Mod Podge. And you just want to go over it and make sure you get all those little wrinkles, not even wrinkles, just make sure it's all pressed down, because that's what kind of adds to it.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting because a lot of people who do napkin decoupage, they don't want any wrinkles. And on the project that we're going to show you next, we didn't want wrinkles. But on this, we think the extra wrinkles give it a little bit more character and texture.
And you can't really avoid it, so you work with it. There you go. And that's it. And you're just going to set that aside to dry. I don't know, just about a half hour. It might be a little tacky. I mean, overnight, of course, is best. But there you go. And it adds a nice little gloss shine on top of that. And look at that. It looks like you cut each individual one out, but we really didn't.
And these are so cute if you want to do like a mantle or a tablescape with them, or a big bowl of them.
Oh, yeah. Place settings.
Oh, that would be so cute. Yeah. You could put each person's name on there with a little tag or something.
Well, you got napkins over there, too.
I do. So this pumpkin, let's see. I have almost completed it. I have one spot here left that I want to show you how to do it. So if you want to do the all-over design, that works best on the little pumpkins, obviously, unless you have giant napkins at your disposal, which I doubt you do. So if you're going to do a cutout motif, like we've done here with these little napkins. So this started out as some dollar store napkins, and same deal, separated the plies, so I'm only working with one ply. And I'm going to use the satin formula of Mod Podge for this, because I don't want a super shine. So you can see here, it's got some sheen to it, but it's not super shiny. And that's the look that we were going for this. And again, on this one, we wanted to avoid the wrinkles as much as possible. And one thing that I think is really good about that, let's see. Oh, I got it to balance. Is I like to go ahead and just add my formula. This is the satin Mod Podge directly to my pumpkin. And this pumpkin, it was ivory when we started out, and we primed it, or base coated it, I guess we could say, with the Folk Art Home Decor chalk. And that just creates that nice white background. Depending upon the napkin you're using, you might want ivory or white, you know, just, you have to make that call. So then I have my motif, and I like to just gently lay it down where I want it. And you're going with the lightest hand ever. Start at the inside and work your way out very, very softly. Just barely putting any pressure on. And that is to avoid wrinkles. Just keep going like that. Now these I did in sort of a linear fashion, but you could do them all over in a wild pattern, whatever you want. You can see just kind of go in there, and my brush is almost dry. So now at this point, if you want to go in, you can kind of get any wrinkle out with your finger if you need to. And now I like to let this dry for, I don't know, like 2 to 3 minutes, not very long, but for sake of time, I'm going to go ahead and show you. Once it's just a little bit set up, a little bit dry, then you go in with a little bit more of your Mod Podge to top coat it. And again, real gentle strokes inside out, and then finish off just moving your brush strokes up and down to get a nice finish there. And that is how simple it is to apply these napkins. To the stem, we use our Folk Art multi-surface paint on the top there, just to paint that off. And one thing I want to show you is we did, just so you had a nice uniform design, we used different little small pieces cut out there on the top, and we did that same kind of technique on the base. So no matter which way your pumpkin's sitting, it looks like the overall design is all there.
I love that. Day of the Dead.
So easy with just, you know, napkins. I mean, I only use, I don't know, like maybe 6 napkins on the whole thing, and I still have a whole stack left. So
yeah, it's a great transformation.
You could do a whole coordinated look.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to move on to fabrics. We just showed you napkins, and remember how I showed you this technique with the napkin? Well, you can apply the exact same technique, but with fabric. So the way the napkin was folded, it's the same thing with, I'm not going to actually show you how to do it because we already have it made, but you're just going to do the same thing. You're going to snip off the corner, and then with our pumpkin, we covered the whole thing with fabric Mod Podge right here. We're using the fabric formula because we're using fabric, and you're going to drape your pumpkin with the fabric and just press it down, and that Mod Podge underneath is going to hold, the fabric Mod Podge is going to hold this into place. Now there are so many cool fabrics out there right now, especially for Halloween and for the holidays, that you can kind of go hog wild. Now this is a great opportunity to be able to do, you know, multiple fabric pumpkins. Like, you know, you could do different sizes of the same, or all different kinds of fabrics in different sizes also. So this is fabric Mod Podge, the same way we showed you how to do the napkin, and you just drape it over instead of trying to piece it together. It's so easy to do.
Well,
and then on the bottom, we just did a piece of felt here, just for you know, coverage, because underneath here is just a little bit, you know, it's where the seams all came together, and we just covered it up, and it's good for you know, any type of mantle or tabletop.
Well, and one thing I like that you were kind of hitting on is, I think it's like the idea of that coordinated look. So many people, they decorate for these holidays, fall and Halloween, and Christmas is coming.
Yeah.
And so it's like, sometimes you want to create a coordinated look. So if you sew and you have these fabrics, you could sew a table runner, you can add appliques with the Mod Podge on top of there.
Yeah.
You can create your Mod Podge pumpkins. You can really create a big coordinated look. And so many of the fabric companies now, they will have like 2, 3, 4, 5 fabrics that all work together, which is really fun. Cool. So you could do large pumpkins and little ones all covered. You could do napkins and tablecloths, you know, depending upon what crafts you take part in.
And we glittered the top, just pulled out some of this gold from the spider web and did some glitter right up here on the stem.
And we're going to show you a ton of glittering ideas.
Lots of glittering coming up. Yeah.
This is getting a second makeover.
Yeah,
with
so
this
here
cool
it is. Let me
glitter.
show the fabric real quick. I don't even think I did that. Here's the fabric. So you can just see how that works. Yeah. Okay.
So another cool way with fabric is using cutout motifs. So this one, instead of doing the wrap technique that Steve showed you with the napkins, this one is just cutout motifs. Now this fabric is so fun. It's by Tim Holtz. I know a bunch of you probably love Tim Holtz's stuff like we do.
Shout out to Tim, amazing fabric.
So look at this fun Halloween fabric. And he always finds really cool old kind of labels and things like that and works it into his designs. So when we saw this, we thought this was perfect for our Halloween pumpkin. And what you do, this is 100% cotton. And we're going to talk about some of the different fabrics and textures that you can use in a minute. But I've gone ahead and cut out a piece of the fabric. And the whole pumpkin is done except for this little section here. And these are those fake, you know, foam pumpkins. I even did the bottom, so you can do the whole thing like that. So I'm going to use the fabric formula, and what I want to show you is how different this formula is. So this formula is very thick. Very, very thick. For those of you who've used the traditional satin matte or gloss, you know it's much thinner. This is a very thick formula. You can use this formula on fabric to fabric. So if you're doing like tote bags or t-shirts or home decor pillows or something like that, or you can do it onto surfaces like this pumpkin or wood boxes, whatever you want. So if you find a fabric that you like and you're thinking, oh, I would never be able to put that on something, well, you can with the fabric Mod Podge. So you just apply that to the back. You can see how much thicker it is. If you're going to be doing it something that needs laundry and stuff like that, you're going to want to check for cure times and stuff like that. But you can wash it. I won't be washing the pumpkin though. That would just be, actually, with the girls, I might be washing it. We wash a lot of things here. Then you're going to flip it over just like that. And I like just to add a little bit to my edges at first, and then I'll do the real top coating once it's down on the pumpkin. But that'll just help seal those edges when it goes down. And peel that up. Oh! Thank you. Oh, it's so nice to have an assistant. Especially a nice one.
That's not what she said 20 minutes ago.
So once it's down, then you're just going to use your fingers. You can use a paintbrush too. I just use my fingers to kind of line it up where you want it. And if you get any of these little, you know, cotton tends to fray away, so you can just pull those. But you want to do that before you top coat it. So get rid of any of your little strings. And then with the fabric formula, you will just top coat it. And it looks really thick and white, but as you can see, you know, the rest of the pumpkin, it's going to dry clear and with a little bit of a sheen to it.
It's such a great look, this patchwork.
Yeah, and you can't really go wrong. So you just kind of overlap. It's, you know, there's no, you don't have to really worry about it.
We'll call it the quilt pumpkin.
Yeah, it is like quilted.
Yeah.
So you can see that's how easy that is to do. And this, you know, it took about 1 hour and 20 to cover the whole pumpkin. I did it while I was watching a movie. The top we glittered, and we glittered that. First I painted it gray, and we glittered it with the Mega Glitter in silver. And once we do glittering, we're going to show you all the different glitters. But that is what the Mega Glitter in silver looks like on that pumpkin stem. And I don't know about you, but I just kept wanting to glitter all the pumpkins.
I said, slow down, stop, enough.
Everything's glittered.
Everything's glitter.
So look how fun and easy that is to do. So simple.
Yeah, it's great. Great fabric.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to a different kind of fabric, and that would be, we were at the fabric store and we found this lace, which we thought was super cool. We said, oh, this kind of looks like spider web a little bit, so why don't we figure out something to do with this? So basically what we did is we took a white pumpkin. Now remember, this is the thing with this project. What we like about it is we use the white pumpkin underneath, but these could be any colored pumpkins. You can paint them any color you want. You could glitter the pumpkins and then put the lace over it. You can see how easy this is to do. Once we painted it, we added the Mod Podge right on top of the pumpkin and then basically just dropped our pumpkin right on top of the lace and then pulled it up just like that all the way around and tied it right up here at the stem and gathered it. It's that simple. That's all we did. And it really transformed a plain old pumpkin into something really cool just by using the lace. Again, like I said, you could do all sorts of different colored pumpkins. You could do glittered pumpkins, whatever you want, and it's just a wrapping technique that's really that simple.
It's so cool. I love the texture that it gives it. I think that's super cool.
And we used gloss for this, just to let you know. We used the gloss Mod Podge because we like that shine coming through. There it is. Anything else to add to this one? That one was so quick. No. That's simple. And again, just the lace.
One of the things that, so we saw that you can use cotton fabric and the lacy fabric works. And I want to show you that even the minky fabrics will work. So this is that really soft, and a lot of people use it for baby blankets and things like that. So it was the same napkin technique that Steve showed you. We cut the hole at the top right up there and coated the whole thing in the fabric Mod Podge and then just wrapped it around to the bottom and glued some felt to the bottom. One thing I want to tell you about working with velvets or any of these minkies is that you want to be very, very careful not to get the fabric Mod Podge onto the fabric. If you do, it will leave a mark. So you want to be very careful with that when you're doing it and make sure you're not getting handprints on the actual fabric part. But I think this is a really great way to add some soft texture. And these minky fabrics come in every color you can imagine.
And they're so soft.
Right now, one thing that's trending for Halloween and fall is pinks and purples and your soft greens and your oatmeals and stuff. So kind of going off of that trend report, when we saw this color, we thought, oh, that would be a very pretty pumpkin.
I love that one.
Yeah.
Pretty nice. Okay, Raphael, come over here for a minute. I want to show the guys, everybody that's watching, our all over glittered pumpkins. Now, these are really easy to do. These are a great way to take any type of smaller pumpkins and glitter them. You can stick them in a bowl. You can make wreaths out of them. You can do all sorts of things, mantles, banners, whatever you want. This is a great little additive and so simple to do. A lot of people have old Halloween pumpkins laying around that year after year. Glitter is a way to transform those pumpkins into something kind of new. So let me show you how it's done. Very simple. We're going to show you how to make the gold one here. And I'm going to take my Mod Podge and I'm going to pour some in a bowl because we're working with glitter and we do not ever want to stick our brush with glitter on it back into the Mod Podge because I've gotten in trouble for doing that from her.
For me? What?
Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take our gloss Mod Podge and you're just going to go, I like to start at the top and just work my way down and cover your entire pumpkin. This is also a really fun craft to do with the kids. Might get a little messy with the glitter, but
I'd say it would get a lot messy.
it would get a lot messy. Well, I'm not talking 2-year-olds. I'm talking, you know, those crafty little kids. There's so many out there. So we're going to cover the pumpkin just like that. And then we're going to take our glitter. And I like to open up the whole thing, and I like to use a piece of paper, of course, on the bottom here. So all that glitter is captured by the paper, and just start up at the top and work my way down. Now it's that simple. And the great thing about it is you don't have to paint your pumpkin first because the glitter covers the whole thing.
Now some people mix their glitter into Mod Podge, and if you do that, which is another fun, cool technique, you would need to paint your pumpkin to match your glitter color. Otherwise, you don't get that real solid look.
Or you can just buy our already glitter in the Mod Podge. Because that stuff's really great.
Oh yeah, we're going to show you my glitter.
So it's that simple. Now, I like to tap off. And you can do 2 coats of this if you'd like, or if you like it the way it is. Once it's dry, I like to do a top coat with the Mod Podge on top of it, just so that glitter is completely sealed down. And you can see this one's already done, where the glitter does not come off. Like that. So that's what we do with, we let these dry, and then we seal it so that the glitter does not fly all over the place.
And with the sealing, we like to use the gloss. You can use Mega Glitter or any of our glitter formulas also, but if you don't have those, if you're choosing between matte, satin, or gloss, we always choose gloss because that keeps that shine in the glitter. If you use matte, you're gonna get a real flat look.
Yeah.
So you would definitely wanna use gloss to keep that sparkle going.
And of course, no waste with the glitter. Put it right back in and recycle that, as you all know.
So Laura asked, why wouldn't you just use the glitter Mod Podge instead of...
Well, you can. That's what we were saying.
Yeah.
You can absolutely use that, but if you have some crazy color glitters that you really love and you're coordinating it with something else, you use all your different kinds of glitters just with the regular Mod Podge.
So like a good example is this. So the glitter Mod Podges come in Sparkle formula, which is like a hologram. And then the Mega Glitters come in gold, silver, and hologram. And I can show you those. This is the silver. And then this is the hologram, which creates that Aurora Borealis look. But if you wanted to do something, you know, like in pinks or blues or, you know, lime green, whatever color you want, then you would need to glitter it. And Mod Podge doesn't come in those colors. So if you're going to do that, there's really 2 ways. Coating with the gloss, sprinkling the glitter on like Steve showed you, then top coating with gloss to seal it all in and create that shine still. Some people like to mix their glitters in, and that's cool too, but I find that you need many, many, many coats.
It's not as solid.
This is a faster way.
Yeah, it's a different kind of look if you're going to mix your glitter in with the Mod Podge. It kind of spreads it out a little bit more. The way I just showed you is completely full coverage solid look.
So now we want to explore.
Does she have another
any more questions?
Okay.
I want to show you about the Mod Podge Mega Gold Glitter. And again, it comes in the hologram and it comes in the silver. And this is really thick. It's almost thick like that fabric formula. See that? That's got so much glitter in it. And this is what it looks like when it's dry. So let's show you that. This is the Mega Glitter Gold Dry. And this is about 4 coats here. And this is the Mega Glitter Gold with what I'm calling a waterfall technique. So I want to show you how those two work. And what you want to do, this pumpkin was just this color. It came in this kind of creamy ivory color. And I thought the gold would look perfect with it. So I like to use a big, like a wide flat brush. I think this is about a 1 inch. And this is 3 coats. And I'm happy with the design. I could stop here, but I want to show you how you get that look. So you want to start at the base and do almost like tapping it in to get it real thick there. And this is the formula that we were talking about earlier that has all of the different sizes in it. And if you look here, you can see there's tiny bits of glitter and bigger pieces and different cuts. And that's what creates that really ultra sparkly look. So you go around and you put it real thick at the base there, right near the stem. And then you want to kind of tap out a little bit. Just like that. Just kind of moving it along. Grab a little bit more when you need it. And you can see, I just want to show you, this is the jar. You can see how much is still left in there. And I did both of these pumpkins with this one jar. So there's quite a bit. It goes a long way. And then you want to go in and just lightly pull that and kind of dust it down. And that's what creates that kind of feathered, it's almost like a glitter ombre look. Just go down and just dust that down. And once it's dry, it'll give you that real soft edge along there, but with the thicker glitter pulled up at the top. And then of course you can add a bow or whatever details you want. But that's just a really sweet look on just a plain, this pumpkin was $4, so it's a great way to add a little sparkle to it. Now, if you like heavy, chunky, dipped glitter, this is more like you've dipped it in, same deal. I did not tape it off because I wanted that organic look, plus this is so bumpy that even your, painter's tape or your masking tape, it did not work very well. So if you go ahead and use that flat brush like I was talking about, it's got a perfect edge for just going in, same deal, and you just work your way down. Just line it up, go right next to where it was, just like that, and just keep going. So these are all just several different ways that you can get a gold glitter look, either by using the gloss formula or using the Mega Glitter. And just keep going around, and then look at how sparkly that is.
Yeah, it's great. What's great about these is, these are $4 pumpkins, and they look really expensive.
Yeah,
that's the transformation on these using the glitter Mod Podge. Really great. Speaking of, we're going to be using some sparkle next. Not glitter, but sparkle. It's the pink bottle right here.
This is a classic.
This is a classic.
I think it's the first glitter formula.
I think it is too. And it's a great overall look. Let's see. Can you get on close on that? Is that light picking that up? You can see this. This is 2 coats of the sparkle right now. But I'm going to show how to add just another one and just do another little technique on top. But it's really great. It's just a really cool look. This was actually a really dull, greenish pumpkin. Which is fine. A $2 pumpkin, really kind of dull, and we just added this and it just kind of came to life. So all we're going to do is, I'm going to take some of this Mod Podge, the sparkle, and again, just like Cathie showed you, I'm just going to go around the rim here because I'm going to be adding some of this green glitter right down here, just to the top. And that's just gonna add another dimension to it. So I'm only gonna go down about so far. Of course, you do it, you know, to your liking. You could do a dusting of glitter over the whole entire thing. I just want a little bit on the top here.
And one thing to note about Sparkle Mod Podge is it is Aurora Borealis.
Yeah.
So it will kick up whatever color is underneath it. So if you have purple underneath it, you're going to see more of the purples coming through.
I'm going to put just a little bit in the bowl here because I don't need that much. And I'm just going to take some of it and I'm just going to dust it like so. Now you can add as much of this as you want. You can add even another color. This is just another way to add.
I think it just, to the texture, it just adds a little bit more texture to it.
Just a little pop, you know, just, you want to make, we like to make our pumpkins all different. Let's get right down in there. And I'm going to add just a little bit more right in the center here. There you go. Now you can see that it's still a little milky white, but of course that's going to dry completely clear with the sparkle in it. Look how sweet that is. So that just adds a little bit of the glitter on top, so that's working with the glitter and the sparkle together. 2 coats on the bottom. I just added a 3rd top right around the stem here with a little bit of glitter. They work great together. Again, these are great for mantles. These are great for outside, inside.
Oh yeah.
Great decorations.
Now we're using all fake pumpkins today. If you wanted to use any of these techniques on real pumpkins, you can.
Yeah.
But what we recommend is this. We recommend washing your pumpkin really good. You can wipe it with alcohol. You can even spray it with 409. You want to get any of that wax and grease off. And then give it a top coat with the Folk Art Home Decor chalk. You can use white, or it comes in a variety of colors. There's even a orange color that you can use there. So any of these chalks can be used on a real pumpkin.
It's a great pumpkin color.
And you can create any of these techniques on that. Now, of course, it's a real pumpkin, so eventually it's going to go sad on the inside. But it will take a while. If you don't cut the pumpkin, they actually stay good
Yeah, they
a
last
long
a while.
time.
Mm-hmm.
So we recommend all these projects on fake pumpkins, but if you wanted to do real ones, you certainly could. Just give it a good prime with this Folk Art Home Decor chalk first.
What are we doing next? How about fabric?
More glitter.
More glitter. So, as I showed you guys earlier, remember the fabric pumpkin? We're just going to add another little layer to this, and that is with this chunky glitter. Some people call it the confetti glitter.
It's a lot of times you'll see it in the balloon section because people fill balloons with it for parties.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily where you find glitter at the store.
And I'm using our gloss Mod Podge again. And this time, I mean, this is perfectly fine just the way the fabric, I mean, I think it's a great look, but we want to add a little extra to it. So what we're going to do is we're going to add the Mod Podge again right on top underneath this stem here. And I'm going to put a nice little amount on here because we want that big confetti glitter to stick well to it. And I'm just going to brush it and then kind of fan it out a little bit. So what this is going to do is it's going to add, I'm going to go down like this. So it's a little heavier by the stem, and then I'm fanning it out like so. Wow, that even looks pretty, doesn't it? Maybe we should stop there. Now I'm going to add this confetti glitter, and I'm just going to sprinkle it. And watch this. And I have my wax paper underneath just to catch all this. No, not so much.
That's why we have brooms.
That's why we have brooms.
My favorite thing to do is actually threw a surprise party for my sister, and we filled some balloons with that.
Yeah.
And then we also covered a table with it. And I love putting my Roomba on top of the table
Oh, yeah.
it has sensors that keep it from falling off the sides.
That's great.
Picks
That's
all of it
awesome.
up.
And then we're just going to tap it off. And there you have it. That just adds another little extra element. You can still see kind of the foggy underneath. That's going to dry completely clear. Now if you wanted to do more of the confetti glitter, you just add more of the Mod Podge all the way down. But there it is. That's going to dry and all this confetti is going to stick to that pumpkin. And again, it just adds another element to our fabric pumpkin.
And I think that's what's so fun about these pumpkins is that if you're papering them or if you're putting fabric on them, you can, with Mod Podge and glitters and things like that, you can just keep adding layers and layers to it, and it really creates a really good kind of textured look.
Well, that's the great thing about Mod Podge, because we know every craft room has so many supplies.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, glitters and all little bits and pieces. So with a bottle of Mod Podge, you really can do a lot with what you already have.
And I think you hit on a good point, because how many people out there have Halloween stickers, Halloween fabrics, fall leaf napkins.
Right.
So I bet you there's a lot of stuff at your craft room or your little craft closet that you've got supplies where you could really create some of these looks with stuff that you already have. So one of the things that we've been noticing is sort of the fall harvest trend of using a lot of pinks and purples. So when we saw this paper, it was like, oh, we need that. Uh-oh, it's getting wet. I've dipped into Mod Podge over here. So
we have a lot going on.
We loved this paper and thought that would be a really cool pumpkin to go with our one here that we did with the minky fabric. So just kind of telling a little story there. And we'll have all these pumpkins grouped up and on the blog based on themes. So you'll be able to see those different themes. For this pumpkin, it started out as an orange fake pumpkin. And I want to show you, I did not do the back side so that we can show you the painting that we did to it. And this took a while, so it's not something we're able to really demo here, but I want to show you what we did do. We used this Folk Art Home Decor chalk. This is the grotto color. And we base coated the whole thing with that. Now we only did one coat. I don't know if you can see, but every now and then you can see a little bit of the orange coming through. And we did that on purpose. And then we took our multi-surface Folk Art paint in Midnight and we ragged it on. So we just used a cotton rag and we wiped it all over that to create those textures there. And then just with a detail brush, we went through and added some lines with the Midnight paint. This is this is the easiest painting you could ever imagine, but it creates all that great texture behind the pumpkin. You can see it even created some little dots. That was all just natural. We didn't put any of that in. That's just what the rag did. And on the top of our pumpkin, we use our Mod Podge and some rose gold glitter just to create a glittered stem. For the paper, I want to show you how simple that is. I left a little section here clean. Oh, you know what? This is a really good, I don't know if the camera can see this, but this is where I stopped. So this is the satin right there. That's the satin Mod Podge. You can see the kind of sheen. And this is what the paint was like before it. So you can really see the type of sheen that you're going to get from the satin formula. So for the paper, I went ahead and I cut out the motifs. I've got just a couple here. And we're going to use the satin formula. You could use matte, satin, or gloss. You could use one of your glitters, whatever you choose. The satin, I think, is really pretty for home decor because it's not too shiny and it's not too matte. It's a nice in between. And it's coming in the 16-ounce bottle now, which is, for me, a good deal because I use this a lot. So you're just going to start on the back side of your motif. And of course, this could be any kind of paper. You want to make a superhero pumpkin, just get some superhero scrapbook paper or wrapping paper or magazine cutouts. You want to do traditional Halloween. You could even do this with any kind of wrapping papers or...
Would cupcake liners work?
Oh yeah, you could use cupcake liners. It would have more of a textured look, but once it gets wet, some of that texture goes away. And you can spray with a light misting of water. If you've got really stiff papers or something, you could spray them with a little bit of water or cupcake liners and that would flatten them. You could even iron them. We've ironed textured papers before. Okay, so here's our little empty spot. So now it's wet on both sides. You know what, I'm gonna add just a little bit more because we've got these hot lights going on. And then you're gonna place it wherever you want. Now with this technique, you can use the brush to go ahead and get that down, but you're gonna really wanna go in with your finger because you want to get into the grooves of the pumpkin. And you're gonna smooth that down. Now, because it's a curved surface, you may get a bit of a wrinkle here or there. You know, I'm trying to get one to show you. So if you get like that, you can just fold that and press it, because you might have some of that in order to get around the curved surfaces. So just press that down. Oh, look, we got some glitter trapped in there. It's a little bit glitter messy over here.
Look at these fingers, full of it.
So once you have it all pressed down with your fingers, I like to go in and smooth out all those brush strokes with a coat of the Mod Podge. And this again is the satin formula, so it creates a bit of a sheen, but it's not a high sheen, and it's not matte either. If you were thinking about home decor paints, it would be like an eggshell probably. Oops, see, I've got a little bubble there. So just go in and press that down. And I think if we spin the pumpkin, you can see, let's find a place where we had to do a fold. Here's where we had to do a fold there. But once the whole pumpkin's done, it really goes away. It's not a big deal. You know, a little fold here and there is what you're going to have to do in order to get around that curved surface. And then I like to set this aside and let it dry. It takes about 30 minutes to touch where you could move on, but this is the type of project where you want to start at the top. Again, just like the napkin pumpkin with the motifs, we went around the stem, we're going to go around the bottom. That will create that really good look all the way around. So no matter what angle you're looking at it from, it looks complete.
That's a very pretty Halloween pumpkin.
Yes, but how beautiful.
No, very
and
much so.
I was thinking too, because there's so many people who do fall weddings and stuff like this, and everyone's wanting to incorporate pumpkins into their look. So this is a way, no matter what, you know, even if you had one covered all in white flowers or something like that, you can really coordinate this to
and it's
any
fall harvest. It's not Halloween. It's fall harvest. It's the fall season.
But it's a fun way to create a very pretty pumpkin.
You know what I noticed?
What?
That my whole theme today, which I didn't realize it, I'm doing all spider webs. Everything's spider web today for me.
You are Spider-Man.
And what next I'm going to show you is spider webs again. But this time we're going to be using some scrapbook paper that we found. Spider web scrapbook paper. So I just cut these out individually, all different sizes, and we're going to be doing a layering look with paper. So of course, as we know, Mod Podge and paper work amazing together, and it's a layering look that I've cut these out, and we just use this small little inexpensive orange pumpkin, and with the gloss Mod Podge, find a little section here, I'm going to go right back on top, and I'm going to be doing some overlapping. So that's, and I kind of multitask with my hands here, so I can do, I'm going to put a little bit on the back of the paper. I'm such a much more messier Mod Podger than you, Cath. And then I go right on top of it. I'm going to press that down, adding the Mod Podge, and then use my fingers to kind of smooth that out. And the same way Cathie showed you earlier, you just want to get into those grooves, press down, and then go right back on top.
And if you're doing an overall look like this, pattern paper like this spiderweb really works well, because there's no, you know, you're not trying to match up corners or anything.
Right, and then you can see there's this little area. I'm just going to drop that right down in there and then work. And this stuff, the Mod Podge is so forgiving as far as, you know, being able to move your pieces of paper around and adjust it to exactly where you want it. So then, let me do one more over here, and you can kind of get a really good idea how quickly you can create this type of look. Again, I want to put a little bit on the back here, over the whole entire thing. And then go right on top of it to the section that I want. And you have time, it moves around very easily. Put a little bit of Mod Podge on my fingers. And just work that in. Get into all those grooves, make sure there's no air bubbles, and then a nice clean finish with your brush on top of it. There we have it. And you can do it, you can work all the way around if you want and finish your pumpkin, or Again, we're into these kind of half looks these days. So I like the half spider web and then the half orange pumpkin. And this pumpkin actually came this color, and we just added the Mod Podge over the entire thing just to give it that kind of nice little punch of light from the gloss. There we have it. Okay.
So now, we've showed you paper, fabrics, glitters, all sorts of things. I want to show you a couple of unexpected items that you can use on your pumpkin that you may already have in your craft closet. And the first one we want to show you is washi tape. And look at these gorgeous copper colors. All these fun washi tapes. And this is the pumpkin that we did. It's a ceramic pumpkin, and it was a little bit ivory in color. We went ahead and we top coated it with the Folk Art Home Decor chalk. And on the stem, I used the copper metallic paint from Folk Art. And that was just, you know, it took me 2 seconds to do that. And we've just pulled the color in basically by looking at our washi tape and just matching up a metallic to go with that. And these metallics come in every color. So if you want to do purple, blue, it doesn't, you know, it's just any color you can imagine. And it's very simple. So most of you have probably seen washi tape or worked with washi tape before. And it's a paper tape, and it sticks pretty good, but not great to everything. It's pretty good paper to paper, but on some of your ceramics and stuff, Mod Podge is a real lifesaver for it. So I want to show you, we just did the washi tape going down our little sections there, just like that, and then you're just going to push it with your, oh, see how easily it pops up. Get it down there, press with your finger, and then go to the bottom there. Let's cut that off. And you can see that if I did that without sealing it with the Mod Podge, probably it might last a season, it might not, because it does have a tendency to pop up. But everybody loves washi tape. I mean, I have a whole drawer full of it. It's one of my favorite things to work with. So what I like to do is just go in, and this is the satin formula, and you just seal that, go right on top of it, and that will make it so it's permanent and down, just like, this is easy as that. Just hit a little bit on the bottom there, and I'll spin this around so you can see these other edges here, they've all been sealed down. So you don't need to use the Mod Podge as a glue here. We're just using it as a sealer, because there's enough sticky on the back of the washi tape that it will stick down, but it will probably peel up if you don't seal it with the Mod Podge. So that's how you can use Mod Podge as a sealer. And again, you could use matte, gloss, satin, it doesn't matter, but I'm just loving the satin for home decor.
Super cool.
So easy.
And speaking of unexpected materials, what about yarn? Like what? Yarn and pumpkins? Yeah. Here it is. Boom. Very simple. Again, we Mod Podge. There's a pumpkin under. There's an orange pumpkin under here, and we just Mod Podge the entire thing. I like to work in sections though, so I start with the fabric Mod Podge. Yes. So I like to work in sections. So all I did was I added Mod Podge about so much. I start with about that, and I started right here, and all you're gonna do is wind it all the way around, and just keep slowly adding like this, around and around, adding your yarn to your pumpkin, and then just gently pressing it down, and just keep working. And you're going to work it all the way around the pumpkin, add another section of Mod Podge all the way around it, and keep wrapping it until you hit the, oh, there's some orange right there, until you finish it right on the bottom. I will pre-warn you, this takes a little bit of time, and it takes a little bit of precision, because you certainly don't want to get into this fight with Mod Podge and the yarn, because you don't want it completely covered, because we don't top coat this, we leave this plain, you know, there's no top coating of this. So it's just the Mod Podge on the pumpkin and just winding all the way around, and then glittering the stem just for another little added detail. And a great thing about it also is, again, so many different color yarns out there, and so many different styles and scraps and thicknesses and all that. So choose the kind of yarn you want and the color you want, and make yourself a yarn pumpkin. They're pretty cool. And I do want to say one thing. You know, first of all, I think it's absolutely beautiful. I love the sheen from that yarn in particular.
but it is kind of like working with the minky fabrics or something. You want to make sure that you have clean
Careful.
hands.
Yeah.
So you do want to do it maybe a quarter of the way and let that dry a little bit. Wash your hands because you don't want to get that fabric Mod Podge.
Yeah,
on
work
the
in
top.
sections is the best way to do it.
And our last unexpected item is a doily.
Doily.
So these, of course, you can make yourself. You can purchase at thrift shops, yard sales. You can beg your grandma to do one. These we picked up at a craft store because we didn't have time to make our own. But we use the same fabric formula. And we just did a real natural looking one. We didn't add any glitter to this one.
No, we kept that one plain on purpose.
It was like, do we glitter the stem? But no. So we just used this paper mache pumpkin and we used the fabric Mod Podge to attach the doilies all over this pumpkin.
Yeah.
And like I said before, on the blog, we will have groupings. So you can probably guess that this pumpkin goes with our floral designs and all that. So we'll have all these themes kind of put together for you with all the complete instructions.
And a quick note with the doilies also is we were also debating if we wanted to dye our doilies.
Oh, yes.
So you can make them kind of any color you want, so they don't have to be this natural color. They can be whatever color you want to add on top.
Absolutely. Any of the cotton ones you can dye, or you could even use a fabric paint on it.
Yep.
You know, any of your yeah, that could be very cool, very cool. Tie-dyed ones. Hey,
hippie pumpkin, why not?
So we went through a lot of stuff today, 15 different ideas.
Should we recap?
I think we should. Let's take a moment and see if anybody has questions. Any questions?
Plaid's done a pretty good job going through on the comments, responding to some
Plaid.
stuff.
Thanks, Plaid.
And yes, Beth, the video will be available on the Plaid Facebook page.
Yeah.
And it will also be shared on Handmade Happy Hour
Yep.
with Cathie and Steve.
Exactly.
Okay.
So thank you guys all so much for tuning in. As usual, if you have family and friends and crafter peeps that like pumpkin makeovers, like Mod Podge, please share this video with those people because we know that they probably want to learn about this stuff too. And we thank you so much for tuning in today. We're going to recap.
Let's recap, yeah.
Everything that we did. One thing that I feel like before the recap that's missing,
What's that?
we really can't see.
We showed it at
your-
the top. I know, you know what the big mistake was? The big mistake was putting this over it, but to be honest with you, this pumpkin shirt's about 2 years old.
Doesn't fit him anymore.
And it gained a little weight. So it's a little tight.
You're doing the
I'm gonna wear it
classic,
next year, though.
The shirt over.
Yeah. I'll wear it next year and it's gonna fit like a glove. But aside from that, let's recap. Okay, so the first thing that we showed you guys how to do was these napkin pumpkins. Very simple to do using the napkins, the one-ply napkins, and going over with Mod Podge. So go again, take a look back at the video how we did it. Cathie also showed you how to do a Day of the Dead napkins.
Yeah,
just
and
with
that's a
cutouts.
good point. Anyone who tuned in midway and missed all this stuff, just go back to the video and you will see everything that we did. Again, the napkins, here we did this sort of motif design using these napkins with the one-ply cutout. Remember, that's very important with napkins, is just one ply. Let's see, I think where we worked, I think that's where we did it. It's already dry.
Yeah, and then we also did
Fun, quick, and easy.
nice, cool fabrics. A lot of fabrics out there. A lot of really great Halloween fabrics this year. And we just did it right on top over a pumpkin. And we also did this chunky glitter with the Mod Podge right on top. So that's a great look. Again, we love groupings. So you can do this with all different size pumpkins, small, medium, large, do the same fabrics. Or you can mix those fabrics up together and they look great.
And here was another fabric design, and this is more what we're calling patchwork. And we were kind of lucky because our fabric already had square cutting lines on it. But we worked with this fabric, and this is a cool Tim Holtz fabric. And let's see if we can see. I think this is the piece we put down. So it's pretty much dry, but it will need to cure overnight. That's a really fun way to get that look on a pumpkin. And we did the bottom too. That way, I like to do the bottoms because if you have a pumpkin or something on a mantle and you're looking at it from far away, you do see, you don't see all the way under, but you do see those edges. So no matter what you're doing, if you're doing papers or fabrics, make sure you're going all the way to the bottom. And if you want to do a felt circle or something on the bottom, that's cool too. The silver stem was our Mod Podge Mega Glitter.
Next, we did our, let's do a special effects, Raphael. Look at that. Pretty cool, right? Okay, we did some lace, some fabric lace here, and again, we just used a plain white pumpkin. We said earlier that you can paint the pumpkins, you can glitter the pumpkins, and then put the lace. You just lay a piece of lace right down, and you just fold it up and gather it up here at the top. That's all we did with the Mod Podge, of course, to hold it all together. And you can add, you know, different elements on top here, though. We kept this kind of simple because we just kind of like the simplicity of it. But yeah, any pumpkin works with just a nice hunk of the lace fabric. And we thought this looked like spider web, so it was perfect for holiday. Yeah.
For our high holidays.
For our holidays.
So one of the things we wanted to share also was the different types of fabrics you can use. So we did the 100% cottons, we did the lace, and we just wanted to show you that that same technique works with these minky fabrics or your velvets. But again, just be careful. Don't get your Mod Podge fingers on there, or else you'll have crusty fingerprints on your pumpkin. But look at how pretty. And you don't have to use, you know, just your regular Halloween colors. You can go into the corals and plums that are so popular right now.
And overall, glittered pumpkins, I think I'm especially guilty of having so many old pumpkins at my house as far as things that are in my pumpkin bins. And this is a great way to transform old to new again, or you can go out and, you know, just get these inexpensive pumpkins using the Mod Podge and the glitter. Any kind of glitter you'd like, whatever you have in your craft room, you can just make a load of these. And these are great for wreaths. They're great for bowls like this. They're great for mantles, banners. You can kind of put these anywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Tabletops, whatever.
I just saw, who was it? I just was scrolling through Instagram. Oh, speaking of Instagram and social media, I hope you all are following Plaid Crafts at all of their social channels, and us too on Instagram. I'm under Cathie Filian. Steve's under Steve V.
Piacenza, because somebody stole my name for some weird reason. STEV.
P.A.
P.A. P.I.A.
Tricky.
Yes.
He's a little bit undercover.
I'll come up.
So yeah, so make sure, because there's so much inspiration, not just from us, but from everybody at Plaid and all the different Plaid brands you can find there. Mega Glitter, Mod Podge Mega Glitter. We did 2 different looks with this. This one's still drying. You can see it's a little bit wet there, but this is that waterfall technique where you pull it up real thick at the top and then gently brush it down to get that kind of feathered edge there. And then we did, it's a little bit wet here, so I'll just spin that. We did this sort of dipped look where we just used our brush. Oh, let's see if I can get it in my hand. And we just used a flat brush to create that nice sharp edge. We didn't use tape or anything like that.
Oldie but a goodie. We love our Sparkle Mod Podge. This one here is a winner. You can see how super sparkly it is. This is 2 coats on the bottom here, and we just did a little bit of glitter right on top. So this one, the sparkle just really transformed anything kind of dull. I said it earlier that this was kind of a really dull green pumpkin, and then once we added the sparkle, it just really brought it to life. And then with a little bit of detail on top with the glitter, I think it looks really nice.
Very sweet. I love that green peridot color. We did an unexpected paper pumpkin. It's still wet right here. But first we did that painting technique with the Folk Art Home Decor chalk and the Midnight paint to create some texture just with paints. That was just ragged on. And then we used our Mod Podge satin to attach these beautiful paper cutouts. And again, with this, we were thinking about all the trends going on with the pinks and the purples and the tans for the holiday season, and thinking about those brides or parties that might be happening in the fall. And you may not want the big orange look. You might want to be going with something softer. And this is a really fun way to do that.
Scrapbooking paper and Mod Podge. Kind of a marriage made in heaven, right? So we just cut out little pieces of, let me show you this one here. Little the spider webs here, and we just did a layering look right on top of this pumpkin. Very simple, just layered. We did it, kept it halfway, just to give that kind of half paper and half pumpkin look. And again, that is with the gloss Mod Podge. And
we had a couple other materials that we really like working with, and that's the washi tape. that creates just a really simple but chic look on a pumpkin. And it's just a small ceramic one, so if you're short on space, this is a really cute way to add some design element just to a coffee table or a side table. And you could use any washi tapes that you, in fact, in our last video, we had some spider web washi tape for the Spider-Man house.
Yeah, that was great.
So, you know, you can use Halloween themed
so
ones,
many.
or you can use these kind of elegant ones too. Now, I like these skinny ones. I think this is about so maybe a 1/4 inch width, but I like those for going down the strips there. So look for some of those skinnier ones and you'll have a real good look going down there.
And another unexpected material is our yarn. So we used yarn and Mod Podge to create a yarn pumpkin. Like we said earlier, so many different kinds of yarn out there in different colors and different sizes. So you can kind of go a little hog wild on this and have fun with it. Again, we want to stress that you got to be very careful with this, that you don't get Mod Podge on top of it just because you don't want to mark it up. And it takes a little bit of time to do it, but the end result is so cool. Very pretty.
And our last pumpkin is our natural looking pumpkin using our doilies. And I just love how it looks. It's like a country chic look. I think it'll be so cute all paired up with our velvet pumpkins and our floral and our copper washi tape one.
Oh yeah.
Very cute.
Let's do a pan, Raphael, and just show kind of everything we did. And again, if you guys have any questions, just make sure to ask us. And there's our 15 pumpkin transformation. Very cool. Any questions, Raphael? No. Okay.
We must be really good teachers.
Well, thank you all for joining us.
Yes.
Yeah.
And remember, please share, like, follow along on all of Plaid's social channels.
Yeah.
And if you know anyone who loves Halloween and fall like we do, be sure to share this video with them because we think that they will like these easy techniques.
Happy Halloween and happy fall harvest.
Thanks for joining us.
Bye.